let's talk Clippers, or as they're often called in LA, the other white meat. Blew last year, blew that 3-1 lead against Denver last year. Pandemic Paul blasted Doc Rivers. Had a good hand in getting him out of LA and into Philly here, which we may be thanking him for. But Kawhi, I mean, you can't discount what a total disappointment he was last year in the playoffs. Wasn't able to really bring that magic south from the Great White North there. Cody, what do you think? How are they going to fare this year? Talk to me about the Clippers, because they are one of those, again, dynamic teams that really can. They got a lot of upside. If they're all gelling, there's really I can see them in a 2 seed even.
Yeah, I don't think any one of us will say that they don't have the stars on the team of the talent necessary. I think their biggest issue is just chemistry. It's you have someone like Paul George. He's a lightning rod for criticism, and it's deservingly so when he criticizes his teammates when he doesn't show up himself, and he kind of gets that Pikachu face when Lou Williams is like, what you telling me to hit a fucking shot? You won't even hit the side of the backboard. Now does Ty Lue? Me and Jacob debated about this before, about his worthiness as not necessarily worthiness, but being a great coach. Like I always felt like he was kind of a coattail rider to LeBron James, but I will give credit to the fact that I think Ty Lue might be more of the Phil Jackson than he is the schematic Popovich.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. That's
if he can come in and cure those chemistry issues and let the talent just play on the court, Clippers can compete for a championship. Can he orchestrate that chemistry, that locker room issue, and get these guys to really buy into each other? Because on paper, they were looking like last year I would have put my money on the Clippers over pretty much any other team.
Me too.
You're talking about two of the best perimeter defenders in Paul George and Kawhi of this generation, and they're both, offensive output is outstanding. And then you have Harrell, which they've lost, obviously, but Harrell, Williams, Zubac. They get Reggie Jackson off the free agent market mid-season, the buyout market. They end up getting Marcus Morris, who's a 20-point scorer, off the buyout market. I mean, so they were stacked. So I would, if I'm a Clippers fan, I would be very sorely disappointed with what the result was.
But check this out. Here's why it's not going to be fixed, even by Ty Lue or Phil Jackson or Ricky Rubio comes and gives everybody hugs. It won't matter because, and I'll tell you why. Mr. Load Management. Once you have Mr. Load Management, Kawhi Leonard, on your team that gets to take off as many days as he wants, and then show up to the games that he wants to, that he's filling up to, the big games. He's woken up for the important meetings, right? And what that causes in a locker room, I tell you what, let's think about it. Whatever job you have, you get a coworker that's gonna be on your same level, okay? And they're going to decide to work whenever they want to, but they're going to be paid way more than you.
Yeah.
So this is the chemistry that is just before we even get into the locker room. This is just what's on paper.
That contempt.
And so that it's not going to happen. Yeah. There's when you have somebody that just decides to work when he feels up to it, and making all the players from the 80s and the 90s roll in their grave, that you're going to have an issue, in my opinion.
To that point as well, and when he does, like last year in the playoffs and stuff, it would be worth it or be justifiable in some way if when he came, he brought what all those days off would accumulate, that rest, that ability to take over the game and be Kawhi.
Right. What you're saying is if it works, then it's one
yeah,
thing,
exactly.
Right.
And that's always
hindsight, It didn't work though. Cody, what are your thoughts on Mr. LM, load management?
I agree with your point. It is a lightning rod issue. I think if you break it down to the basic human element, it's hard not to get resentment over that. Like, I think we can all find somewhere in our career past that we've dealt with something like that and had some type of animosity. So the one thing I guess I will give him a little more credit for on the issue is like the guy does have a degenerative knee issue. So it's one of those things like if you're going to, as the Clippers organization, if I'm paying this dude $42 million a year, I want to squeeze out the most I can get out of this guy. If it means him sitting out playing against or the Orlando Magic, so be it.
Good point.
But it's more or less how do you parlay that to get your teammates to understand? Like this isn't like I'm not trying to be a pile of shit and take days off so I can go to Disneyland with my family. It's something that it's a driven purpose for our future success.
And that's likely only to be compounded with a condensed season with the COVID. You know, I mean,
well, that's why you have Pandemic P. Is when there's any sort of virus that he will be ready to go.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to put money out there that like those teammates aren't pissed off at Kawhi. Those teammates are pissed off at the guy that doesn't perform when it counts the most.
Exactly.
But he's there to criticize. I guess my point is I would give more criticism to Paul George's leadership style than Kawhi sitting out random games. I think Paul George he's one of those does not have that self-reflection. He doesn't read the room, you know. Like,
doesn't read the room.
Yeah, like you'll criticize teammates for not showing up when in turn you didn't show up.
Do as I say, not do as I say, not as I do.
But you know what? So Pandemic P just got a contract extension worth a lot of money, like max money, dude. And it's way more than he was worth.
Yeah, I don't. Guys like him, like he's talented. I mean, you can't discount the fact that 2 years ago he was third place in MVP voting. So the talent is there. It's just those deals don't usually pan out when. What is Paul George, 28?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, he seems older than that.
So,
probably
he does seem older, but
if he's older, it's worse. It's like so 5 years down the line when he's paid $48 million, like you're not going to get. When Paul George is 33, 34, you're not going to get $48 million worth of production out of the guy.
Yeah, this year I think they're going to have to really overachieve to become to meet up with the Lakers finally in the conference finals like everybody was hoping.
Yeah, I think you have to realize, too, they did lose some talent.
Yeah, they did.
Harrell leaving. The reigning sixth man just left, and I think how much of a slap in the face that is. Going like, I'm going to go join. Like they're already known as like the stepbrother of the LA, you know? So
he's in LA. He stayed in LA, but he's with the Lakers now. He's wearing the yellow, and
that's got to affect. Like their rivalry is brewing, and it's growing day by day
for sure.
So those matchups are going to be really fun to watch. I think.
I hope they meet in the playoffs. Please meet in the playoffs.
They had a chance, but pandemic happened. Here we are.